Hello there, my name is Lou Wieland, and for the last 30 years or so, I've been publishing the official relocation guides for Atlanta that are distributed by the First Multiple Listing Service of Atlanta. They are magazines about Atlanta. They are on the First Multiple Listing Service website. They are distributed by FMLS in all the FMLS stores, and they're placed in all the real estate brokerage firms for distribution to their clients who are buying homes or businesses. And um, they're all about, we profile all the counties and the communities. They're also on my website, which is atlantacommunityprofiles.com. And we pride ourselves in having the most up-to-date profiles of the counties and communities, information on schools, etc. So check it out. I'm also a commercial realtor with KW Commercial. And if I can help you with any of your real estate needs, please let me know. My email is louwheelan@kw.com. So every week or so, we interview some of the community leaders, people who are contributing to the well-being of our community. And today we're talking with our friend Sam Bass, who's been on our show before. Sam is Vice President of Sales at Rockhaven Homes. Sam, great to have you back on the show, and keep up with all of your work that you're doing to help people find homes, which is not that easy. Lately, we have a shortage of homes out there, and you're doing a good job in helping to help with that meet that shortage. Tell us a little bit about Rockhaven. I know you've been over there, by the way, for a year and a half, and business is very good. I understand you said earlier before the show started. So, tell us a little bit about Rockhaven Homes.
Well, Lou, number one, thank you for inviting me back on. It's great being back on your show. I've had the luxury in this market of working for public builders, private builders, large and really, really small builders. And so, Rockhaven, I'm back to a privately held company. Rockhaven is the second largest, though, in the state of Georgia, Metro Atlanta. And I think we're currently ranked somewhere in top 8 amongst all builders. But the cool thing about Rockhaven is we are nimble enough. We can pivot pretty quick and adjust to the market, which, as you know, we've had to do as all builders over the past 2-3 years, just with the market changes that have occurred. And Rockhaven is a builder that is able to do that, change product lines if we need to. We do both single family and multifamily, and primarily a first-time home buyer market.
Well, you have a very broad price range. I know it's hard to find any house under 300, a new house under 300, but you do have homes for under 300,000. I noticed on your website.
Yes, sir, we do. We are fortunate. You're exactly right. They're very hard to come by, but we do have a property in Decatur called Saratoga Lakes, and our properties are in, I think, the 280, 279, 284 range, into the low threes, depending on the location. There is a lake on the property, so they tend to carry a higher premium. But we do start out in the twos. We're probably in more of our neighborhoods in the low to mid threes. And then that's for multifamily. And then single family, we start out in the mid threes, mid to upper threes, and we'll go into the low to mid fours as well.
Now, that's pretty hard to find, that price point in Decatur, in town. How do you manage to do that? Provide that kind of a price point in so close in?
Well, I mean, I think part of it is one of the things that attracted me to Rockhaven is we do have lots we own. We owned them for a while. We certainly want to go after. We want to acquire more land for the future. But I think one of the tenets of our owner and the company is he's been doing this for a minute, and he's had this land. We got it, and we made sure to bring it on the market at the right time. Some of this stuff is hard to do. It's hard to say when the right time is, but I think he's proven that his ability to decide when to develop and when to bring it to market has done quite well, especially considering the changes over the last few years in demand for housing and pricing. So I think we've just been fortunate with his acumen to make sure it's time to develop at the right time and be able to make sure that when we develop it, we're bringing it in to meet our budgets within our proposal or our performance for the community, and it's been able to work for us.
Well, you're all over town. I mean, you're from South Atlanta down Brookhaven, or is Fayetteville area almost, or down in that area in the south side too, on up to up in Gwinnett County, right up in Jackson. Or tell us
Yes, sir.
what's the criteria for picking an area? That is there any particular criteria?
Well, I mean, I think that we get a lot of properties brought to our attention, like most builders do. I do think we try to look at, the area, the schools, the attractions that could be this a draw for various communities. It's not all one thing. I think it's a combination, a little bit of everything. We do go into North Gwinnett, into the Jackson County, Houston area. We're also into Oakwood, outside of Gainesville. We've got some land we own up in Forsyth. We haven't even started developing yet. But we're also, as you mentioned, South Fulton. We're getting ready to be in McDonough. We're also inside the perimeter, or the perimeter, I should say, of the city of Atlanta. It's an Atlanta address. A lot of builders have decided they don't want to build there. It's a little bit tougher to build with regulations, zoning, permitting, and so forth. But we've been able to do it and found success in it. And so we kind of pride ourselves for really going where we believe the market is. And we found in that area, we've got 4 or 5 communities serving the metro Atlanta market, and all of them are contributing right now. All of them are selling. We have inventory. We start inventory, but we're not sitting on inventory, which is, part of the equation to be successful is you got to be able to turn it. And we've been able to do that. I think, and that comes down to not just the location, but you got to price it right. You can have the best location, but if you price it wrong, price it too high, nobody, maybe not everybody wants to live there. So we've been very fortunate to be able to price it to what we believe is the market and be able to be successful at it.
Well, what's the time by the time you go under contract to move in? What is the typical period there from build out, or do you have homes already on models, or?
Well, we do. We've kind of shifted a little bit. This current, the end of last year to this year, there has been another shift in the market where it was such a seller's market and the prices continue to rise, and we had multiple offers on pretty much every home. Inventory still low, but we were during that period prior to last fall, we were able to pretty much have inventory that we could close in 30, 45 days. And that cut down on the wait for the home to be finished and wait for inspections, stuff like that. In this market, a lot of that inventory is no longer there. And so if we're going to sell, and we are selling at the beginning of a house being built, depending on the city and depending on, the area, it could take, 90 to 120 days from the time we start it physically at slab. And sometimes it's a little bit longer. If you're dealing with multifamily townhomes, by nature, they're a little bit longer to build. But, from the time that we've, I think, released a permit to build to the time that we complete it, I think 4 to 5 months is pretty reasonable.
4 to 5 months. That's a big change from the old days, huh? When people were selling models.
Yeah. And that's assuming, really, one thing that assumes is no supply chain issues. And we experienced that too a couple of years ago, and in some respects still are in some areas of home building, but not as bad as it used to be. And that does take into consideration that, hey, if there's a shortage or if there's all of a sudden a supply problem with drywall, with anything that could go into the home, that changes. The ball game changes at that time. But we've been able to mitigate that thus far and not have that many issues that could delay a closing.
Sam, what's the current status with the availability and prices of building materials? We keep hearing lots of stories that there's a shortage of building materials and the prices are going up. Where do we stand with that aspect of the business?
I don't have my hand on that as much on a day-to-day as I have sometimes in the past, but I think they've stabilized a little bit for us. I mean, we do know that lumber fluctuates. We know that drywall. We know that cement even fluctuates, and but I think for now, I don't think we've had much of a change in pricing, significant change. They're always going to be going up and down a little bit, but no major spikes one way or the other. Is what I'm hearing and what I'm understanding. Um, Now, like I said before, I do not have my ear to it as much as our purchasing manager does. That he spends that his time with that most of the time, all day, every day. But I'm usually the one though that does find out about it through price increases. And hey, we've got to go up in price because our cost of materials is going up, and so we haven't heard that in a minute. But what we are doing is making sure that as we get those increases, that we have to adjust pricing accordingly.
And what about labor? I understand there is a shortage of labor as well, and which complicates the whole process and could extend the time period between going under contract and move-in. Where do we stand on
Yeah.
labor?
I think that's probably the bigger one that I think we do see more fluctuation. And I think there is more labor issues that affect us on a day to day, and it's from all types. It's not just the framing labor. It could be HVAC. It could be electrical. A lot of different vendors are experimenting or experiencing shortages in labor and staffing, and I think that does affect our ability to be able to keep a house on schedule.
What is resale versus new? Where do we stand with regard to closing costs and advantages of new versus resale?
Well, I'm not sure there's the advantage of new is just pretty much exactly that. Everything you get with a new home, new townhome is absolutely brand new with a warranty. When it comes to closing costs in most of our areas that we're in, I don't know that there's a tremendous advantage one over the other with closing costs. The number, I think they're pretty similar, 2% or so, or 2 to 2.5% of the purchase price typically what you're looking at. Now, new construction, we're able to contribute some of that. Not every seller is willing to pay some of that, but I think with the benefit of being able to buy a brand new townhome or brand new single family home and get everything, from the flooring to the cabinetry to the appliances to the roof out, all of it completely brand new, and get incentives from the builder and lender to help you close it. That is the advantage for sure.
What about technology? The new homes are a lot more technology savvy, right? Much more technology innovative. Tell us about your technology?
Well, we do. I think you're right. I think most new construction, if not all, probably nowadays has uh, updated their included features to have at least the hub or the beginnings of how someone can make a house that they're closing on more of a smart home, more available to that smart home technology. And we're no different. We've partnered with our electrical contractor and made sure that we've got the brain, the hub as they call it, where it's the basis for that is built into our homes, and the buyer can come in after closing at a later date and decide they want to add additional, materials to maybe switch out parts of their home to be able to take advantage of that. They have the ability to do that. We currently feature the technology that has some of our lights affected. You can turn on your lights, lower them with the technology we have, as well as the door. The door locks can be locked and unlocked with either a keypad or your smartphone, and even to the point of thermostats being able to be regulated temperature wise from your phone, from your smartphone. So we've got that. Some of the builders that are out there, and ours has the same option, allows you to upgrade to video cameras around your home as well, inside and outside your home, and of course monitoring for security as well.
How big of in demand is that element, the security element among buyers these days?
I think more than as much as it's ever been. I think people want to know that when they go to bed at night, that they feel secure. So I think whether it's now whether it's a wireless or hardwired system, I don't think it matters anymore. I think everyone's gotten so uh, comfortable with wireless technology and the Bluetooth that knowing that they've got the technology there that they can from their phone hit their alarm, whether it's a keypad or their phone, that they can engage it and disengage it from their some nightstand on their bed in their bedroom. That I think that it's more than ever a peace of mind that everyone wants to know that they've got something that will allow them to feel safe and secure when they go to bed. The other side, I think, is being able to, aside from the securities, have either the Ring doorbell or access with a video camera to know if someone approaches their property, approaches their front door, they've got something that can help them identify if it's someone they know or not. I think that's an important feature.
What about one thing I like is music. What kind of music do you have? Don't you have plugins to different kinds of music from and based on the price of the home, or how does that work?
You know, I don't know the answer to that. It's one thing I can't tell you for sure, but I think you're right. I think there's some plug-in, software or attachments that you can add into the smart home technology that allow you to benefit or at least take advantage of the technologies in the house to bring music in. It's not an intercom, but I think it allows you to bring some of that into your dwelling.
Yeah, it's what are some of the differences between the high point and the low point price wise of your homes? Can you what accounts for the price difference?
Probably the most, I guess, for us, we're in our differentiation. The low pricing is pretty much going to be our townhomes, and whether they have a garage or not, because we do both. We have some townhomes that do not have garages included. We have some that have a one and some that have a two car. So that's pretty much the defining uh, piece of I guess, the pricing equation that includes that area of the garage or not. The features inside the home are all pretty similar in the townhomes and in the single family. And meaning that what we've decided to have as our included features from a townhome community with zero garage to a two-car garage doesn't vary much, in my opinion. The roof heights, or ceiling heights, the cabinets that we're putting in, the granite, the flooring. If we put trim in, whether we're doing wainscoting or crown and chair, they're all going to be pretty similar from our mid twos or high twos to our low threes. This is going to be the difference is the location of that property, and if it's got two-car garage, one-car garage, and or zero garage. For single families, kind of the same thing. Our product that we're building now, we were in the 500s in one of our communities, a couple of our communities. We're now pretty much under five everywhere, and we've streamlined our product offering to have pretty much four plans that we're building. And what really determines the cost difference is the size of the home from 2,200 square feet up to 2,900 square feet. But what's in the homes is pretty much the same. You're going to get the same type of flooring, LVP, in a lot of the areas downstairs, kitchen, foyer, family room. You're going to get the 42-inch cabinets, the granite countertops, the stainless steel appliances. They're all the same. We're figuring that the best way to make it kind of a Rockhaven feature is to keep all those the same. The difference is, do I have 9-foot ceiling plate here versus 8? Do I have vaulted ceilings or a 2-story foyer because of a bigger home? That is what determines really the price being higher or somewhat lower depending on not having as much. 3 bedrooms versus 5 bedrooms too. The bigger the house, the more you can put in it.
So what's the for let's say a 200,000, well let's say $225,000 house. How many square feet can you get with the price in that a home in that price?
We're in the 275 range, and I think ours is a 1,464 square foot townhome. Okay, so I don't know if we could do that at 225. Probably not, but if we had the right land and we could get that product on it, then we probably could. It's just a matter of finding the land that would allow us to come in at the low twos versus the high twos.
What about at the high end? What is the high end? You're like 400 or what?
At 499, I've currently got a home listed for 499,000 in Austell, and we're at 2975 or just under 3,000 square feet, and it's got 5 bedrooms. It could be a 6 bedroom, but we've got it as a 5, and it includes a bedroom on the main. Now, not a master, but a bedroom down, living, dining, family room, gourmet kitchen, but with a bedroom on the main floor, and then you've also got your primary bedrooms and secondary bedrooms upstairs. So 4 of them upstairs with one down.
That's pretty amazing. Under
Yeah.
5, pretty much close in. Austell is becoming close in. I know I have some land
I know.
listings over
It's
there.
not far. You're right. It's not far from Atlanta. We did the same product up in Jefferson, which is off in close to Winder, just north of Winder, and it was priced similarly in the high fours, into the low fives, depending. We had several in the basement too, but yeah, it was pretty close to that price. A little bit further out.
Yeah, that's pretty, and it is amazing that the price of houses. What do you forecast for price increases this year? What would you say?
I'd say if I had to forecast it, I hate forecasting it, but if I had to, Lou, for you, um, what I think's happening right now is, I kind of alluded to this earlier. I look around and a lot of the builders sold through their inventory in last year. Okay, they did. I mean, we had to start new inventory too. There was probably some builders probably were hesitating. Should I go ahead and spec a lot more homes, put them out on the ground, permit them, get them ready, or do I wait and see what the market's going to do? And so right now we've got inventory in our communities, but we've seen such a good start to January and February, and as I told you, we've had a great start to March that I have very few places where I've got finished standing inventory. So as a result, that just means we're going to be starting more because the spring market's here, and that's our best time of year going into summer. And as a result, that means pricing will probably increase a little because the demand is there. We have very little inventory across the Metro Atlanta. We're behind in what Metro Atlanta needs. Everybody knows that. So there's still demand for new construction in all parts of Atlanta. And so that just means the pricing will continue to go up some. But remember, last July, August, September, prices came down from the time that it really rose. So there was a correction in the market last year. And I think right now, a lot of people went back to the way it should be, the way it has always been, normalized pricing. And so it's healthy to have increases because that helps with appreciation in our communities and helps build value in the areas we build in. So we're going to see that more on a normalized level, I think, throughout this year, 2023.
Do you help with mortgages, and what kind of mortgage rates are you offering, or you're able to obtain for your buyers?
We have a preferred mortgage or preferred lending team that we work with, yes, and the way our incentives work is if you're a home buyer prospect that purchased one of our homes and uses one of our 3 preferred lenders, then we'll contribute $3,500. Seller pay closing costs. And right now, just so you know, we try to partner with our lending companies that have a variety of different loan programs, so that we can, pretty much try to have something for anyone that's out there looking. I think interest rates right now are somewhere around mid sixes. On any given day, it could be 6 3/4 or 6 3/8, but I think 6.5 is pretty norm right now. In February, we kind of tipped up to 7, but I think right now they've been back into the mid sixes and very kind of back and forth in the low sixes, 6.25, 6.5.
Now, what about first-time home buyers? Do you have quite a few buyers who are represented by that category of buyer?
Yes, sir. That is our target audience, are the first-time home buyers. We feel like we have a really great product line, from our townhome line to our single-family line, and frankly, in both scenarios, one of the messages that we try to get out to all of our prospective buyers is, now's the time to own something start investing in building your own wealth. And the home is the best way to do that. I mean, purchasing a home has probably never been better than now. Even though rates have gone up, from a few years ago, there's still not a better time to be buying because, this is the best time to start putting money aside. Stop throwing money out the door, investing in something you can own. And over the past, I don't know, not quite 100 years, but since 1941, I learned this morning. Since 1941, we've only had 8 years. How many years is that? That's been approximately 88 years or maybe 85 years. There's only been 8 years where pricing did not go up for homes and nationally. So, and 7 of those years, it was right after a recession. Prices came down. Okay, and then 1 year of those 8 stayed the same. So, I think that's significant when you take a look at the big picture and how I could talk to someone like my daughter and like my son who don't own a home yet. Why is now a good time? Because they can go and invest instead of throwing $3,000 a month rent right out the door. They can invest that money into a home, maybe a starter home, maybe a townhome, but they can invest there and start building an opportunity for wealth and putting money into the home. And when they sell that home 3, 4, 5, 10 years from now, have the equity that they've accrued and roll that into their next house and so on and so forth. That's how you start, building your own wealth, investing in something that you can own.
The contrast is pretty significant between that and the stock market,
Yeah.
because
yeah.
the market, look at the market. I mean, I have a lot of clients who have lost a great deal of money in the market in the last couple of years, but not so with real estate.
It's been, I mean, I didn't have those numbers before this morning. Someone pointed it out to me, and I was like, wow, that makes a lot of sense, even more so. But you're right, when you compare it to things like stock market, it just doesn't compare.
Well, thanks for being on the show, Sam. I appreciate it, and been very helpful to a lot of people, I'm sure, who are looking to buy a house, trying to determine whether they should wait for the stock market to come back or just go ahead and buy a house with their savings. I know.
Well, you know what? One last thing I'll tell you is buying today, regardless of the interest rates, most of the mortgage companies and lending companies that are out there are offering a refi in the future. So if you're able to afford and get out of renting and into home ownership, most of them have the opportunity now where within 3 to 5 years you can refinance, and they basically don't charge you for the refinance. And that's a big carrot out there right now.
Yeah, that can be very helpful because interest rates will probably come down during that
Absolutely.
period. Thank you, Sam. And how can people reach you if they would like to ask you some questions or arrange for an appointment to see one of your homes?
Lou, they can certainly look at us at Rockhaven at rockhavenga.com is our website. They can reach me at sbass at rockhavenga.com as well by email. And my cell is 919-796-6415. They can call me too or text me.
So I would thank you very much, Sam. It's a pleasure to have you back on the show.
Good to be back, Lou. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Have a great day. And thank you very much for listening.